Hey everybody, Patty Ann here again today. Hey, today my goal is to teach you how to do sublimation on a 30-ounce tumbler in your Cricut Mug Press, and I'm going to teach you how you can make it so that your images they're seamless. Now I do have to tell you this, I messed mine up a little bit. As you can see, maybe this one's totally seamless. The seam went right down through here. You can't see where the seam is here. But I did something right here and you can see the seam. And honestly, I tried to even fix it with a piece of the paper that came off, and I put it back in my mug press, and it really didn't help it. I guess if I could have lined it up perfectly, it would have helped. But anyway, just look at this one and this one and you can see what you can do if you're careful when you put it in your mug press. So this one simply says the word believe. I got these flowers all over the internet. Well, actually from one site. They're free, and I'm going to show you where to get them and how to make the seamless thing right now. So follow me up to Silhouette. Okay, first I just wanted to show you where I get my mugs. I get mine from Johnson Plastics Plus, and I am affiliated with them. I can give you a 15% off code. It'll be right here, and I'll have it down below as well. So anyway, that's where I get mine. But look down here, not my table, and I want to show you how I get ready to make this. So if I have a measuring tape, which for sewing or something like that, I could use that. But if I don't, I could use a piece of ribbon or a string. And what I want to do is go around this thing to find out its circumference. So I'm going to go right to there, and I know that's how big around my mug is. So then I just measure that on a ruler or something, and I see it's 10 inches around. Now I always like to leave white space at the top and the bottom of mine. So I figure maybe about that much. So it's going to be 10 inches wide by let's see, about 9 inches tall. So let's go up to Silhouette now, and I'm going to open a new page, and I'm going to make a rectangle that is 10 inches wide. I'll unlock this so I can do this easily. So I'll make it 10 inches wide, hit enter, by 9 inches high. And that's how much space I have to use for my mug that I'm going to use, or my tumbler. Okay, at this point now, as you can see, I did turn off my machine, none, my cutting mat, none. I had my media size set to 12 by 12, but I'm going to change my media size, and I'm going to change it to custom so that it's exactly the same size of my area that I have for my tumbler. So that is, I'm going to change it to 10 inches wide by 9 inches tall. Okay, I'm going to change it just like that, and then I'm just going to center this to the mat like that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you also where I got all my free images. So it's called pngitem.com. pngitem.com. And so, for example, I like to look and see, okay, this is a pretty good sized image. It's 900 by 612. That's good. This one's a big one. This one's a big one, and I think I may have just chosen large ones. But let me just show you what this does. So I'm going to say download. So do not click the word start, because that's going to have you do something else. Click the word download. After you click the word download, notice it says download all over the place on here. Don't click any of those. Click this one right here where it tells you what the resolution of the image is. If you click these, you're going to download something else that you don't want on your computer. Just click this one that's right above where it says resolution. Click that, and again, do not click start. Wait just a few seconds, and there comes the correct download you want to use. So say download. And now it should begin downloading. And there it is. You see it down here downloading. Some of them take a little while because they're pretty large. So this one ended in 363. So let's go back to Silhouette, and I'll go to File, and I'm going to merge because I want to put it right on this same page. If I say open, it will open it in a new page. But I want it to open on the same page, so I'm just going to say merge, And this is the one I just did. So I double click on that and bring it in. And it looks really nice, right? Okay, so then I just did this to a whole bunch of them. If I went back here again, when I scrolled down, I could see some other ones that were available. And for some reason, it's not working as quickly, probably since I'm also recording. But see down here, I can see some others, like this one is really pretty. And again, here we go. Click on it. Don't click start, click download. All these words that say download that come up here, don't click on any of them if they come up. The only one you want to click on is the one right here above the resolution. Download. Oh my gosh, here we go again. I'm waiting for this right by the words resolution to come up. Download. And now it's going to download right here. So it ended in 513. I'll open up Silhouette again. Go to File and Merge because I want to bring it into the same page. And here it is. Double click. And there it is there. And when you see these up close, they're really nice. Look at those. Oh my goodness. Beautiful images they have here for us. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring in the other ones that I already had. So I'll just go to File and Merge. So let's just go to my last one that I did. And here's a whole bunch of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab some of these flowers and bring them in so I can use them. Okay, I'll just grab these and I can just go grab them all and say copy. In this tab, go over to the new tab I'm working in, right click and say paste. And it will bring them right in for us. So now we have a whole slew of them. So the way I got this guy was he actually had a yellow center, and I wanted to have a little bit of a different color center to add a little more interest in the page. So to do that, I clicked on it to highlight it. And if you're not familiar with this over here, you got to start playing with this panel, the image effects panel. Come to the second button over, click on that, and it says the word hue, H-U-E. If you move this thing back and forth, look what it does to our image. I mean, if I wanted some blue in there, the pretty sparkly green, bright green, whatever, right? So there's lots of things, or not lots, but there's stuff that I could do with this and leave it like that. Just say apply and it'll stay. Okay, so we have a bunch of images here now. So now's what I want to do is I want to show you how to make this image that's going to fit and be seamless for you. So I'm going to make these a little bit smaller. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the sides here and over here that are going to change. So let me see. The other half of this is going to end up over here. The other half of this, and you'll see what I mean, is going to end up over here. Other half of this is going to go here. So these other ones now I'm just going to have to kind of move around here and position so there's not too many colors together. And I really, on mine, I didn't overlap them at all, but I really kind of think that maybe overlapping them would be prettier. So I'm going to overlap some. And make this smaller because remember, this piece is going to be over here as well. I can do that hue thing again if I want to and kind of change that color, but I didn't really like to. Okay, so let's just get down to business. This is just a sample to show you how to do this, and then I want to tell you how to do it on your Cricut Mug Press. So in order to make this be seamless, let me show you what would happen right now if I was to save this. So if I go to, let's make the backing white. Okay. And if I go to File, Save, Flower Demo, I'll just call it, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. I can do that since I have the business edition, Flower Demo. And I'm going to go ahead and change it so my resolution is 600. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go to File, going to go to File and Open, and I'm going to open Flower Demo. Okay, here's Flower Demo right here. Now I want to show you something. If I duplicate this by holding down my Control key and hit the arrow key that points to the right, that's going to add a duplicate to the right. Duplicate, right. So you can see now, those are not seamless. You can definitely see where the seam is there, right? So this is not the way we want it to be. So let's go back to this. Okay, here we are. I changed up my pages a little bit and added a few more flowers. Let's see. I might still want to add more, but we'll just go with this since this is just a learning experience. So remember now that I have my mat or this thing. I don't even really need this. All I need is my mat back here. So let's get rid of this. This is just my mat, and remember I made it a custom size. It's the exact size that I need for my tumbler. If you're making a shape tumbler, you'd probably want to keep the shape up there. But since this is just a rectangle, I'll do it like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over here and get a rectangle and draw one out. And I want it to be a little taller than my image. While that thing is still selected, I'm going to come up here and have it aligned to the left side of my mat or my work area. When it's still selected, I'm going to hold down the Control key on my keyboard and hit the left arrow. When I do that, that's going to duplicate that rectangle to the left. Perfect, just like that. Now I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to hold down my Alt, left arrow. I duplicated it to the left. I don't really need this one so much, but I'm using it, and you'll see how in just a sec. Now I'm going to take this one that's hanging off the left side, hold down my Control key, duplicate by hitting the left arrow. Okay. Now I'll start down at the bottom. I'm going to take my original flower, hold down my Shift key, and get my duplicated rectangle. So I have two things selected, my original flower and the duplicate of the rectangle. I'm going to come way over here to the Modify panel, and I'm going to say Crop. Okay, so you can see what that did. It cropped this part of the flower out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come here and say align that flower part to the right hand side of my image. And this piece right here, I'm just using it to make a duplicate so it goes in the exact place that it needs to be. So I'll hold down my Control and right arrow, and it puts it right back where it was originally. And this one I can delete. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. But before we do, I need to duplicate my rectangle again. So I've clicked on it, hold my Control key, arrow left, okay. Take the original flower, Shift, grab the duplicate or the copy of the rectangle, and then come over to the Modify panel and say Crop. This one I'm going to want to move over to the right, like that. This one, remember I don't really need it other than I need it to duplicate it and put it right back where it was. So before I duplicated it to the left, so now to put it back where it was, I'm going to duplicate it to the right. So to do that, hold down your Control, arrow right, and there it is. And we no longer need this one. All right, that's all we need to do on this side. So I'm going to take this rectangle now, and I'm going to go ahead and align it to the right-hand side of my page. Now notice there's just one flower that's hanging over the edge, this one right here. So that's the only one we're going to have to work with. First thing I do is duplicate the rectangle, hold down the Control, arrow to the right to make it be duplicated to the right. Same thing with the flower. Click on it, Control, arrow right. So I duplicated it to the right. So remember, we really don't do much with this other than to put it back eventually. But now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the original flower, hold down your Shift key, click on the copy of the rectangle, and say Crop. And now I'm going to move this part of the flower over here by just coming up here and saying align left. There it is. And this one, I need to duplicate it back to where it was originally. So I'll hold Control, left arrow. And then this one I can get rid of. Oh, and I can get rid of this little rectangle too. And you may be thinking, yeah, but Patty Ann, there's all that extra junk all over the place over there. What are you going to do with that? Well, I'll show you in a minute. Now these that I've changed, I can't move those. These interior ones I can move a little bit if I want, okay, to make them a little bit more interesting. But these that I've split, I cannot move. All right, so now all we have to do is go to File, Save, and I'm going to name this Test Flowers for Seamless Tumbler. Okay, Test Flowers for Seamless Tumbler, and I'll name it a J, or I'll save it as a JPEG. So I'll say okay, Test Flowers, and I can change this to 300 or 600. All right, takes a little longer to do it as 6, and it comes in as a bigger image, but I just tried that. All right, so now I'm going to go to File and Open, and Test Flowers for Seamless Tumbler. Going to open it, and let's see what we have. So far it looks beautiful, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. But here's the test. If we take this and I hold down my Control and I arrow it over to the right, does it match up the way I would want? Look at that. Look at that, you guys. See that? Look at. I mean, honestly, can you see where the seam is? No, that's perfect. So what if I wanted a big sheet of something? I needed a larger sheet. Whoopsie, let me undo that. I could grab both of these and hold down my Control and do the down arrow. And there they are down there. Looks like there's a little seam that shows right here. Not sure why that happens on mine. So I just use my up arrow by itself, go one dot up, and it's gone. So let's try these guys again. So while we have these all selected, let's hold down the Control key and go right arrow. And perfect. Look at that. Seamless. So you may be wondering, okay, well, what does that mean for me and my tumbler? Well, here's exactly what it means for you and your tumbler. So you have this one here, right? And when you fold it around your tumbler, this side here is going to meet this side here. So let's drag one over. So look, this is this side, right? And this is their same sides. So if I take this side, pretend like we're curling it around to meet this side, and you match it up perfectly back there, no one is going to see that seam on your tumbler. So let me show you how to do the tumblers in the Cricut. I'm not going to do mine because I don't have any more to work on, but I'll show you what to do. Okay, let's imagine this is the sheet that I just printed off. This is just a sample so I could show you guys. And I take my cutter and I cut off all the white edges very carefully around the sides. Okay, especially here and here, I make sure I do a really nice cut. Then I take my lid off, take this and roll it around my tumbler. Then I make sure that these edges here at the bottom are touching perfectly. Then's when I use my heat tape here, and I'll roll all the way down to the top and make sure those edges are meeting up perfectly, and like this, just like that. And I just do those at first because then I'm still able to move this up and down a little bit to make sure how much do I want here and here of the white. I just like the white there. I like the way it looks. So then I would put tape all the way down here. I'm not going to use all my tape. I put it all the way down here, and I put the tape around the edge here and around the edge here. Okay. Then I would have preheated my press. Now, I've seen other people say they do it for 90 seconds. You might want to test something. I'm wondering if maybe mine would have turned out a little bit darker if I had done it a little bit longer. But it looks like the paper was pretty well spent. Looks like maybe there could have been a little bit more color that could have come off of these. But what I did on mine was I did 60 seconds. So I started no, 90 seconds. So I started with this in the center, with my seam right here in the center, and I pressed this down and I said, "Hey Siri, set timer for 90 seconds." So she did. When 90 seconds was up, I took this out. Then I knew, since my seam was at the front, I wanted to turn this exactly so the seam is in the back, and put this down in here carefully, like this. "Hey Siri, set timer for 90 seconds. Okay. And when 90 seconds was done, I took this out, and this is still not hot yet, but the top is. So you might want to wear your gloves then. Then you would take your tumbler, put it down again with the seam in the front. I start usually with mine down first, the closed part down, and do both closed parts. And then when those are both done for 90 seconds, then I start this with this seam in the middle. 90 seconds, series timing, open, seam to the back, 90 seconds, and open. And that's how easy it is to do this in the Cricut Mug Press. I was going to get my other bigger press out, but I thought, I really truly do like this little baby. So thanks so much for joining me. Hey, if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Tell your friends. I'd love you to join us on our Facebook group too, and you can show us some of the things you've been making. So see you all again soon. Bye-bye.